How has the food scene in India evolved over the years? From when you started?
I mean, now there's a strong focus on regional Indian cuisine. Everyone was in this bandwagon of French and Italian, but at the same time, there's a solid vacuum of proper Levantine food. Everyone just claims to do like hummus and Turkish is picking up, but then I think there's a strong focus on regional Indian cuisine, which I see. My peers from the industry, they're focusing on regional Indian cuisine, which is the in thing now.
I just read about the slow food movement. I read a few things about
Yes,
it. Yeah.
so we're working very closely with a lot of farmers in Aurangabad, in and around Aurangabad. We try and keep it very local. The only thing here, what we serve was the imported lamb from New Zealand because in India there's a strong misconception of calling goat meat lamb or mutton. They call goat meat lamb or mutton, which is not the case. So we want to serve proper lamb. So and the lamb quality is not that great in the country, except for a few places in the Kashmir region, which is not we don't have access to. Somehow, I would say the is Pune, where Trikaya farm is, where we have used parsnips. So most of the things have come from our Maharashtra, except for the lamb, of course. And we keep things to a bare minimum when it comes to wastage. We try and use the off-cuts. We try and for example, for the butternut puree course which we had, from the peels and the seeds, we made a tea and we had it ourselves, the stock, like a sweet pumpkin tea. So those are the small practices because the audience, you have the understanding, I can see, that's why you're asking me this question, but the audience don't really pay heed to such things. But we as chefs inside the kitchen, we should start focusing on such things. So that it's,
Okay. So, what's the most challenging thing about being a chef?
not giving enough time to family. Yeah,
Do you cook at home?
I used to. I cook for my kids once in a while,
Yeah.
but I don't cook that often.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have Hyderabad influence as well as Aurangabad, right?
Yeah. So my parents are from Hyderabad. I never lived here, but I have my Naniyal and Dadiyal, which is like my mom's side and my dad's side here. Are they all here? Most of them. So I never lived here, but I since childhood I've been coming to Hyderabad. Yeah.
So is there some influence of that?
Ghar pe it's like hardcore Hyderabadi food for me.
Okay.
Like hardcore Muslim Hyderabadi food. Biryani, mirchi ka salan, all those things are regular fare at home.
So do you think India is ready to get there in terms of culinary education? Training schools
Yeah.
for culinary training schools.
So I've been a trainer myself at the Taj School and three schools basically Taj, then LCB, which is the French school where it's there in Gurgaon. Then I've been with the Swiss school. I opened a school. I mean, I feel that there's a solid gap between what's going around in the world and what we teach. So we are still very dated when it comes to what we teach. Of course, you have to learn the basics, right? Those are okay, but then focus is definitely not 100% on how the fundamentals should be taught. So yeah, we're still backwards, but India has stepped up when it comes to pastry. Baking and pastry, there are some phenomenal schools. There are two schools which I really look up to. Bangalore, for example, in Bangalore, there's this Lavon is like superb. And in Bombay, there's a school called School of European Pastry, which is quite recently opened. So, but in terms of baking and pastry, the schools are doing extremely well. Cooking-wise, cooking school, cuisine schools are still. I would reserve my comments.
So what do you think of these shows, food shows like MasterChef and?
MasterChef, it's not for the professionals. It's for home cooks or some hobbyists who like to cook, but then they're not really chefs. And anyways, this show is not really for professionals. It's good. I mean, awareness definitely. The chefs and the respect and because I remember when I wanted to sign up for a culinary arts program, my mother was so heartbroken. She was so ashamed because I come from a family wherein there are 27 of us as cousins. 22 are doctors, 5 are engineers, and there were only 2. One is a food engineer, and then the last black sheep of the family, and the youngest one was me, who chose to become a chef. So it was always looked down upon, even to my mother. Like in the beginning, for when I moved to Australia to study, for 2.5 years, she was telling her friends that I'm touring Australia. So she did not say that I've gone to learn how to cook, but then yeah, it took some time for her to accept when but then thanks to such shows, the respect is there and the awareness is there of what a chef as a professional can do. We're here to feed, we're here to nurture. It's quite gratifying when it comes to serving good food and people liking it.
Yeah, and with so many great chefs around in India, particularly, with it, there's a lot of importance to that. Do you think it's high time we get some Michelin Star?
We don't have Michelin guide. In fact, Australia itself, Australia as a country, and New Zealand over there also they don't have Michelin guide. One day it may come. It will. India will also have Michelin guide. Then there will be restaurants who are worthy of a Michelin star. But it's not the end of it. I don't think so. I've worked in a few. I've designed recently a restaurant which has been mentioned in Michelin Guide, but it doesn't. I think I don't know. I think it's all about marketing. It's all about how much money you pump into the business and how you present. But there are so many people. There are so many cooks as well who are probably very new in the industry, but they're cooking really wholesome food, which is much better than a Michelin star. So who should? So I don't think so. It's the end of it. Of course, it's good to always receive a Michelin star, but it's not there. Yeah.
You're talking about career growth in terms of being a chef. So what are the different levels?
Oh, I've seen ups and downs.
Yeah.
So for me, I was thriving well. Then I had to make some choices in life. Then I had to move back for family. So I was working in Australia. Then I had to move for family. But then, so to me, as long as you're cooking food, I have a small studio setup which only caters to 8 people at a time. So I'm not really. You can clearly see that I'm not really running after money. But I'm a different breed that way. I thrive on. As long as customers are happy, I thrive on that. Of course, money is very important to get your bread and butter, but then it's not the end of it. Like I do not want much. I want enough to have my wants met and needs met.
Any message to the
Young
those wanted to be aspiring chef?
Aspiring chefs, people look at the glamour. People look at MasterChef and they think but it's a very difficult profession. It takes a toll on your health. You've got to be standing up on your feet for many long hours, 12 plus hours. These boys have been working with me. I'm now taking a chill pill. I've done my bit, but then these boys have been stretching for like 16 hours. We left at 2:30 in the night, and they were here since morning last night, and we were here again at 9 o'clock. So long hours, and of course. For aspiring students who want to get into culinary courses, I would highly suggest that they actually go to a restaurant and intern for at least a week to understand. And if they can survive 1 week, I think then they should sign up for a course, because there are a lot of dropouts at schools. We see even after they graduate, they change the profession. They can't stand the heat, because school is something else. It's very relaxed. But once, and it's a very harsh industry, because not every chef, they're high pressure. Just before you guys came, a few of them were getting in your food from me as well. So it's one of the high pressure professions. Yeah.
Is it lucrative?
Yeah. As long as you're smart about it, it is lucrative when it comes to money. You're talking about
Yeah.
finance. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
Thanks.